Welcome again, and thanks for coming. In the next hour, we have a different session. This time we wanted to make emphasis in an IFIMAC dimension that is not just science. And so we will talk about some of the things surrounding science, not making science, okay? And in which we have been working in the last 2-3 years. So in the last 2-3 years, or in the last 2 years, we detected that there were some issues at IFIMAC that needed to be strengthened. Not only the current steering committee, but also the reviewers of this Maria de Maet to realize that these issues needed a bit more of support than what we had before. And in this session, we will tell you about all our efforts in trying to improve this dimension of IFIMAC. So this is just a summary. In trying to improve our science, I will tell you about some new common facilities, further support in administration, and the organization of seminars. One of the tasks in which we have put a lot of effort is in transferring our work to society. We have to give back to society what society is giving us. And this is a very important aspect of a research center also. And for that, we have the Commission of Outreach and Communication that also made a huge work in trying to make our work more visible to society. In trying to promote internalization, we work a lot, well, they work a lot in the seminar and the communication committees. But also in assuring in an inclusive science, we have since 3 years ago, Gender Equality Commission. And also in the outreach part, we are very careful in trying to take our science to sections of society that are usually not so much involved in these outreach activities. So I will let you know about a bit of on the support that we incorporated in the last years. This is a summary of the people that is working now at IFIMAC. We had Almudena Conde for the last 10 years or more, working as the project manager of the Maria de Maeztu program. She, as you probably know, will be no further with us. We are looking now for a person to substitute Almudena in this task. She will be around for lunch, so she's not around now. We have a farewell present and a card that is around, so if you want to sign, you're welcome. So in the administration, we also have Beatriz Soto that has been working with us for a long time already, that takes part mainly of the invoices, but also some other administrative support. In the communication and outreach section, we have Patricia Marquez. She couldn't make it to be here today, but she should, because she did a lot of work in this task. But Ferry will tell us about later. Okay, and she has been taking care of Twitter, YouTube, organizing workshops, making videos, asking for outreach grants, and organizing videos for seminars and so on. But Ferry will tell us about later. We also try to reinforce the scientific support. So in the experimental part, we had already Ferry working with us for the last 3 years, and we recently incorporated Jesus Nevado. I think he's around. Jesus is right there, and he's taking now care of a new Raman service and also the wire bonding machine that we have in the department. In the computing part, we also reinforced our support, and we introduced Joel Fayake, that is helping Stefan with all the high performance computing, internet, and all the stuff that Stefan is taking part. So I wanted to make emphasis on this because although we sent 2-3 emails regarding this information, I know that many of you are not aware, we are trying in IFIMAC to start some common facilities. So Jesus is there for that. We already have a Raman spectroscopy service. We have a very user-friendly micro-Raman imaging system that Jesus will be happy, okay, to show you how it works or to make measurements for you, okay? We recently incorporated into the service this micro bonding machine. He also learned how to use it. So if you need to make some wire bonding, micro wire bonding once or 2 times, you can come to him and he will do it for you. But if you think you're going to use it very, very frequently, he will be happy to also to teach you how to use it. So you are all welcome to use this services. We are working on some other systems to come. I hope we can finish in 1 month to prepare a high power laser to cut both metallic samples and silicon oxide samples. Also, this is quite convenient. And we are working also in trying to set up a photolithography system. That might take some months yet, okay. Also, we recently, as I told you, incorporated Joel to help Stefan. They take care of high performance computing, the intranet, the web page, and many other things. Okay, maybe Ferry also can tell us a bit more later. So apart from these people, which are hired for this task, we have a huge list of volunteers, of researchers that take part in all these working groups and make this boost these actions just for fun, okay, or for responsibility, feeling, whatever. in any case, thank you to all. This is a huge list, and I'm sure I forgot someone, okay? But thank you to all of you that work on this issue, because this really helps IFIMAC a lot. So I'm already finished, and now we would have these several persons representing the several working groups or commission that will summarize the work that they are doing and then what they plan to do in the future. So first we have Francesca Marchetti that will tell us about the Gender Equality Commission.
Well, thanks. I will be very brief. And I'm here to tell you about the objectives and the activities that we have been carrying on as Gender Equality Commission since this commission was established. We are 6 people, led by Cristina, Johannes, Isabel, Miriam, who unfortunately, I don't know if she's here, she's going to leave, so we have a vacancy, and we are looking for, I think, to balance this commission, a male, if possible, person that wants to join us. Is a very dynamic and a very nice group, working groups, and then Celia. And also we count on the very valuable help from Patricia, which is, unfortunately she's not here. So yeah, this Gender Commission was established in April of 2021, and the idea is to come up with practical activities aimed at promoting and strengthening the role of women at IFIMAC and raising awareness of gender equality issues in physics. So we have specific objectives. We have divided our work in areas, which I will tell you very briefly about, but it's very important to stress that both women and men are collaborating for these activities to be carried on. And I think this is a very important point if we want to overcome problems in gender equality issues in physics. So, okay, so before I start telling you what we do exactly, just let me spend 1 minute on why we should care. why IFIMAC needs gender equality policies, not only because the Maria de Mezzo wants us to have them. No? I mean, that would be a poor motivation. So underrepresentation of women in physics is a fact. I mean, we can see the pictures, for example, in these rooms, and also the people that are sitting in this room. And the lack of diversity means inequality, but also affect the physics that we do. We might not think that this is the case, but there are studies that show that we could have a better physics if with more inclusion and more diversity. The very worrying part is that the underrepresentation of women is very much linked with concerning issues. So this is our studies. It's not our perception. We're very happy at IFIMAC. We don't feel biased. We don't feel like stereotypes, maybe, but this is our personal perception. Studies are meant to be done on large population, and these studies have a unique answer, that this underrepresentation is the fact that women don't go to physics is related to very worrying facts, stereotypes. Many individuals associate physics with masculine qualities, and this brought back women from physics. Another fact is lack of role models, like the pictures in this room. There are not enough women in leading positions. So role models and mentors are missing for female students. Unconscious biases, this is also something really dangerous. And even though all our male colleagues probably will recognize themselves in this problem, but there is a work-life imbalances that also affects both male and female. So are these issues affecting IFIMAC? Maybe yes, maybe not. Our perception might be very positive. Mine, when some years ago, many years ago, people asked me, what do you think about gender issues in physics? Gender issues in physics. I mean, I never had any problem. I wasn't biased. I mean, I didn't feel like many stereotypes applied on me, but I am a single person. This is not what the studies show. So IFIMAC should really worry, and we do worry, and we act. So what do? We do some statistics, which is done by ourselves. This is our numbers taken from WAMI figures that are available online, and Johan has made the plots. This is female students in physics, not only condensed matter. So you have at the beginning, first year students, so enrollment, and then numbers about female percentage in first and fourth years physics among all of them. And then our master on condensed matter biological physics. Systems and our PhD program. So then you see that apart from some strange peak in the PhD program in 2014, I think we believe that this must be a mistake. So it was a very optimistic participation of 40%. There is not much deviation in years. The participation is about 25%. And the master also suffered, this is unfortunately is real, at the beginning of very, very low participation of women in our master, but this is correcting and is getting to this 25%. So if you can distribute in years, you don't see a clear trend. Maybe some optimistic, like increase here in first year students, but we don't know if that's a trend or also something local. What about women at IFIMAC? Here, unfortunately, the trend is clear. There is a getting down as soon as you move up to titular and cathedratic, although there is a redistribution, but this is from tenure track. So Ramonica had to titular. This is because we didn't have any promotion for a long time, and now suddenly they all came out. So this peak, I think, moved to this curve, which is not bad for titular. 30% is not 40%, which is what considered equity, but on cathedratico it goes down like very, very deeply. And this is just the same graph, but distributed in years to see if there are trends. There are some, well, the tenure track trend going down is because the TP is moving up, so it's not a clear behavior. So what do? We participate, we promote participation in committees. Here the trend is positive. since its foundation of IFIMAC 2012. In 2021, the steering committee changed from 1 to 6 to 2 to 6 female members, and the scientific advisory board went from totally male to half, which is really bravo. And IFIMAC Colloquia could do better. Now 1/7, but okay, there is some intention. There is some intention. We will improve that. Visibility and awareness. Ferry will talk about outreach activities on the 11th of February. We promote them, we organize them, but then really the work is done by the people that participate in the outreach activities. So Celia, Marta, Cristina, Miriam, and Linda, thank you very much. And this is the 23 edition. In 24, we have other edition. So on the 10th of February, there is going to be another 11th of February activity here at one, and I encourage really as many people as that they can, especially people that are mentors. If they could come with their mentees, I think that would be like a really positive attitude. And on visibility and awareness, we also had some training on gender issues in physics to make people more sensible on this problem, raising awareness on gender equality and conscious biases. And then Sophia, who is from Skill for Science, also gave us some tips on how to overcome them. So our real work is on the mentoring program. So support to female students. There are demonstrations that providing mentorship to women in research is a powerful strategy for enhancing careers, retaining female talent, and also foster a more inclusive and equitable environment, which is what we hope our program will do. It's a very successful program. Has been run for 2 years. We have both mentors, female and male. I think this is our really strong point. And we had 34 mentors, 30% female in 2022-2023, and 38 this year. So, I mean, this is not little work, but actually this is what will give us more work. We start in April to recruit mentors. In June, we recruit students. We do the registration. We do the matching between the mentee and the mentor. Then we start the program. We have an opening ceremony. We look for the company of some professional psychologists that comes and give us a training. Last year, it worked. It wasn't optimal. I think this year we met the right person, we believe, to do this training, and we will have a following up training during February, I think, this year. And then we had, for example, other activities like the communication workshop for mentees that organized Patricia, basically. And then in September we close, and in June we close, and we have a closing ceremony and also a survey. So closing up my part, let me come with a quote, and this has to do with IFIMAC as well. Not changing the bias in the gender bias in physics and inequality is not about fixing women, it's about fixing the organization, and that's how we act as IFIMAC. And IFIMAC, we care and we are committed to a greater inclusion of female talent to improve our success. Thanks.
Thank you. Comments, questions? We really encourage you to take part of the Gender Equality Commission. So just write an email to any of us if you would like to join us. Next, we will have then Diego. He's going to talk us about the informal seminars. Well, seminars in general. Okay, so.
Thank you, Cristina. So, hi everyone. So now it's my turn to present our efforts in general to diffuse the science in the seminars at the IFIMAC. Here you can see some of the logos associated to each of these efforts, which are our distinguished IFIMAC colloquia, the IFIMAC informal seminars, that we started quite recently, as well as the standard IFIMAC seminars, as well as the old IFIMAC ICM seminars that unfortunately, like the dinosaurs, have faced extinction, but they made a very good effort during the pandemics, since these were online seminars and were really helpful to not become crazy at home. And here you can see some of the faces and the names of the people that were involved, like from the colloquium, Ivan, Brihuega, Antonio, Isabel Villamón, and Laura Arriaga. From the informal seminars, myself, as well as Pau and Saul Velez, more recently, and also from the IFIMAC seminars. I mean, there's a long list, but I want to emphasize like the work from Patricia in announcing and diffusing this seminar, as well as Beatriz and Modena, and together with Stefan, that always helps a lot with the diffusion on the website. So I'm gonna start talking more in particular of each of these seminars. In particular, we start with our distinguished seminars, which are the IFIMAC Colloquia, that has been already quite successful. And in here, I want to make a special mention to Patricia, since if you ever wonder where this nice artwork comes from, it's actually from a person. It's not an AI making it. So we have already around 7 very nice lectures, and they also helped on the recordings and on the YouTube and in the interviews, as well as the publication in the Twitter and the website. Moreover, there's the important work of diffusion in the emails, and now that we all become aware, like Beatriz and Almudena is always taking care of this, as well as regarding the technical support for the recordings of YouTube from Stefan and Joel, that also help in the interviews of the web, and you can now find all the seminars almost available in YouTube in the IFIMAC website. And regarding the interviews, also want to thank the committee that makes the questions, and these are Celia González, Diego Espósito, Jaime Abad, and Paula Madrid. One thing that we can improve is the assistance to the coffee opening. And I mean, as a student, I was very triggered about free things, and we have free coffee and drinks and food together with good company and discussion. So what's wrong with you guys and girls? All right. So, and this is expensive. So don't think, this is taken. Yeah, coffee for free. No. I've seen places where you don't have free coffee. So let's keep this up. And also, please don't miss the next session of speakers. Maria Berniori from the DIPC, Susana Huelga from University, Florian from the Max Planck. Actually met him there when I was doing my postdoc, and Ludovic Bertier from the University of Montpellier. All right, then we have our more standard seminars, so the IFIMAC seminars. Here again, we have nice artwork announcing the seminars from Patricia. So basically, these are standard scientific talks, so 45 minutes plus questions, and well, the dates and hours are announced by Beatriz and Almudena by email. And this is actually a very good opportunity to know the cutting edge research that is done at the IFIMAC at all the different levels. And one important question is, how do you book it? No? And maybe you remember the Google Forms, as you heard something about it. Well, this has changed, okay? Now we have, thanks to Stefan and others too, a well system organized that we can book it on the intranet that you can find here in this website. And you basically can write the name and the title, so you can book it, and then this email will be processed, and we all see, oh, we have a seminar here, oh, and it's colliding with another one, so we have to move it. But then once everything's fixed, Beatriz will send an email announcing it, and Patricia will post it in the Twitter, and it will be cool. So if you wonder how to access that, so if you go to the IFIMAC web, you can go to the seminars section, and there directly you have the seminars form. So please, whenever I see an email, say, Diego, can you book me a seminar for? I'm gonna be pissed off. No, I'm kidding. A little bit pissed off, because you have to send it through the seminar form. Okay, that's the new way of doing this for all. You can also access it through the intranet, and this is how it looks. The form is very simple. It's way simpler than interacting with myself or the others. You probably lose more time talking with us because I like to talk a lot. So all right. Then very recently we started a new format for the seminar. We started informal seminars that we evolved from the old theoretical physical department. That was a format that was appreciated from all the different departments, and we realized this, and so we decided to include it at the IFIMAC level, so that all the students take advantage of this format. That is a good opportunity to know what is the ongoing research that maybe is not really like final results, but still you have an opportunity to present your failures, your unpublished data, your questions, or even we are encouraging to do curiosity talks or other talks that are not directly published or intended to be published results. No, like we saw for example, the talk from Johannes about the Nobel Prize, which was a complete success. I mean, it was not even space. We have to do chairs from the offices and put it in the middle. So I encourage you all, now that this is a new part of the IFIMAC, and all your students to send an email to us, better to all, not just to myself. So just so that we organize very well. And this is not only for young. I want to encourage also the senior scientists here. And I think this last Wednesday, we have the best example, which was a talk from Fernando Flores that came to my office and said, yo, can you put me one seminar for practicing a talk that I have on the next month? I say, or how can I say no? I mean, so you're the father of our department almost. So yeah, so I encourage you all to apply, please. And yeah, just to finish, another practice, a practical feature that we implemented in the website, and this is basically one thing that we have a struggle between Antonio, Stefan, and myself. And we had a dream, okay, like Martin Luther King. We had a dream of knowing what is happening in IFIMAC, and that you can look at a single place and knowing what the hell is going on. And this is the new IFIMAC agenda. This is still to be improved, okay? So don't expect to have the super fun. Can I have it for my mic? Well, wait. We'll get to that, but at least for the moment, you can see this format in here. You can see all the calendar with the titles of the talk, and then you can click and you can see already the abstract and so. And basically the idea was to avoid so once I came here and I realized that there were so many seminars, I realized, I mean, this is like gonna collide. I mean, and we already, after some few bad experiences about collisions of seminars, we say, we have to do this. I mean, even if it's in a very rough manner, and in the future, Stefan will help very much to make it this even better than what is now, and also coordinate crowded scientific weeks. Already we saw or we heard some people that were complaining that, come on, we have so many seminars bunched together. I mean, this is this crazy week, and we now try to myself and Pau and Saul to maybe displace the seminars so that not everywhere, not all the seminars are bunched together and make it very hard to assist to all of them. And very important, then this is my last piece of information, there's a button below the agenda that you can access the IFIMAC web, and this is the subscribe button, so you will get already an ICS data file, so you can actually put it in your calendar and be automatically updated. And with this, I'm done.
Okay, I hope you learn how to book a calendar. Don't talk to Diego anymore. Now we have Ferry that is going to talk about communication and outreach activities.
All right, thank you, Cristina. I'm just representing a very big group of people here. This is by no means my personal project. I will go over a long list of names during these couple of slides to try to acknowledge everybody. In first place, it's good to acknowledge Patricia, who has actually prepared most of these slides. Couldn't be here, so I'm stepping in. So communication and outreach, we're treating them together because they are very much related, but not the same, and I'll get to that in a moment. Communication committee actually has a longer history, like Cristina mentioned. Some 3 years ago, we started with a group of scientists, but even though we are professional scientists, we are not professional communicators. So in the beginning, we struggled a lot with how to actually set this up and have a coherent communication strategy for IFIMAC. What does it mean to have, what is the identity of IFIMAC that we want to communicate to the outside world? So I think about 1 year ago, the steering committee probably said, okay, this is enough. Now we need some professional help. So this is when Patricia came in, and she has really, over the past year, I think we can say safely that there's a before and after in the communication of IFIMAC, both communication and outreach, in terms of the professionalization step that we've taken during this time. So to start. As scientists, we often use communication and outreach as if they are synonyms. They are not. So we have to be careful in what we call communication and what we call outreach. The difficulty starts because many of the things that are communication have an element of outreach, and many of the things that are outreach have an element that is communication. So how do I divide it? So I'm going to run you through this diagram. It was not prepared by me. So it's a professional diagram. So we can basically make a separation here. So we have IFIMAC in the center, and IFIMAC produces research, right? That's us here at the bottom. That research needs to be communicated, and it needs to be included in the outreach. At the same time, IFIMAC also has a mission, which is not the individual research results, but they are more, what does IFIMAC stand for? What is condensed matter physics? And that mission also requires communication and outreach. So we can basically make this division here. And if we talk just about communication, then we have several mechanisms to communicate that are being set up. Very dry things like the activity report, which is the yearly summary that you can find on the IFIMAC webpage. We started a newsletter in the past year. I'll get to that in a minute, which is a little bit less dry about what we are doing. This is a little bit more the mission, what we're doing. And of course, us as researchers, we are very used to communicating our research. So this is all communication to our peers. It's important to keep in mind what is the target group of what you are doing. So the target group in communication is almost always our peers, other researchers. So to communicate our research, we have our articles, we have our conferences, and in our cases, we also sometimes do a video interview that can be considered, I'm communicating my research to other researchers. This, we as researchers are more or less proficient at. We are used to that. Then comes the outreach. This is where it gets very complicated. So in the outreach, we need to talk to the general public, but the general public doesn't exist either. The general public consists of all kinds of smaller subgroups. Sometimes you need to talk to all of them at the same time. Sometimes you need to talk to a very specific subgroup. This means that the message that you're giving needs to be adapted to the the target group that you're talking about in that moment. So I'm going to show you also examples of these, where we have different outreach events that are either very general or very specific. IFIMAC now is developing a lot of videos, for example, the videos that Diego already mentioned for the colloquia, infographics. If we want to communicate our research to the general public, this is the most complicated step, because how do you translate your actual research results to the general audience? There we have press releases, news on the website, social media, and again, the possibility to use videos. So if you're interested, and I'm going to show some of these examples, we have our different channels to actually do all these kind of things, which are the Twitter, website, the YouTube, and also LinkedIn. Okay, so all this, we're going to list a lot of people. I think it's important, again, to acknowledge the general help that we've gotten from Almudena, Beatrice, and Stefan on this, which are always ready to solve technical problems. Okay, so bear with me. Communication. Yeah. So we have the communication committee. This is the current list. In the beginning, we also counted with Johannes, with Miriam, with Sergio. Pablo has been, where's Pablo? Yeah. Democratically voted to be our head of the communication committee. He did not have much to say in that. So you will receive periodically emails from Pablo to engage with us, because the communication committee cannot do any of this communication without actually getting the information from all the researchers. Yes, this is an important point, and I'll get back to that in a minute. I think also here we should mention Antonio, who has been really, from the steering committee pushing all these kind of initiatives, and has been supporting us a lot. Okay, so we have different channels. I'm going to focus on the Twitter here. If you want to follow us, IFIMAC UAM, and then we have different types of posts. Yes, so these are a little bit, some of them I've already mentioned. For example, we have a running social media campaign, which is the IFIMAC Facts, where we try to highlight specific things that are being done at IFIMAC that we consider unique to the world and are valuable to actually communicate. We have another IFIMAC campaign that is once a month, which are the Condensed Matter pioneers, highlighting specific achievements of pioneers in the field, as really an outreach kind of thing. So this is outreach. We consider it more communication. Here we're already mixing communication with outreach. Of course, then purely communication things are IFIMAC News. This is what happens when you fill in the form. You don't have Twitter, you don't know about it. So you fill in the form on the website, the news form. This is what is actually happening. Yes? So for people that don't have Twitter, something is happening when you actually fill in this form. And so we make these nice, Patricia makes these nice cartels, and then we get a post that is on Twitter, and there's quite a bit of engagement with that. So same thing for events, same thing for seminars, joint seminars, IFIMAC seminars, IFIMAC colloquia. Yeah. These are all the typical communication. We have an event, we are communicating to the general. Research highlights, the same thing. If you publish a paper, please engage with us. Fill in the form on the website, and we can actually communicate about your research, increase the reach. And then, of course, really communicating the outreach. We have posts on the different videos that we are doing, interviews with students, and also different kind of special events, International Day of Scientific Culture, World Science Day, that are initiatives that we are doing also for outreach. Okay, so this is a little bit of communication. The biggest initiative that actually was a lot more work than we anticipated is the IFIMAC newsletter. You should have received the first one. We are right now in the process of getting the second one. So this is where you've received one of these emails from Pablo asking, this is a public service announcement. If you didn't do this yet, please check the email from Pablo. We need the inputs, because otherwise we don't have content for the new people, scientific events, also PhD theses which have been defended, and any other thing of interest to the general public, awards, grants, etc. So the new one will come out just before Christmas. So be on the lookout for that. Okay, so these are the things that were more communication. Now we go into outreach. Now we have to talk to the general public. This is more scary. Francesca already mentioned this. This was really the first big event of outreach that was done in the past year, and I think the biggest outreach event that we did until that moment. And this was really a very nice collaboration between the outreach part and the Gender Equality Commission. So there's a very long list of people here. I hope nobody was left out. So here, this is an event that is outreach that has a communication part, because we are communicating our mission as IFIMAC. We care about gender equality. Yeah, this is a communication part, but much more important, not more important, but much more upfront is there is an element of outreach, showing the physics to the general public. General public as general as it gets, because there's no selection at the door about who is going to actually be there to engage with us. So we had a series of different experiments focused on soft matter, hard matter, and optics. And we had, I believe it was up to 300 participants in the event. So it was a very successful event. And this encouraged a lot of us, to continue with this. At the end of the day, we're doing this because we enjoy it. Yeah? Not because Maria de Meister asks us. We do this because we enjoy doing this. And I think, once you actually get to these kind of events, you need to experience it to get the hang of it. So in very similar fashion, we use the same type of approach of like small experiments that you can show. We've done several outreach events now at primary schools, both in Valdebebas, at Alfredo Stefano, and also here at in campus on the Principe de Asturias, and different events. This is different because here you're talking to a very specific group. You go and there is selection at the gate because there's a specific age group that you're going to be talking to. This means that you get to adapt your message very much to the groups. This is tough because you're talking to 6-year-olds, 5-year-olds, to 4-year-olds. So you need to really think how to translate the concepts to the age of the kids, and in many cases you actually get surprised by how much engagement you're getting. Yeah. So in both these cases, in the 11 de Febrero and also in the outreach of schools, it's a very direct. You get engagement from the public as well. So it's not purely outreach where you are just sending out a message, but actually there's feedback from the audience. Another example of that was the European Researchers Night, Investigadores, that we did in September, where Celia and me, we both had a stand together with a lot of help from students. Celia focusing on, where's the picture? Here. Celia focusing on handmade batteries for people, for the kids to make themselves. Kids and adults actually, and we also had a stand on solar technology. This was for me. This was I think we were up to 1,000 people that night. So this is an event of 3 to 4 hours non-stop. It's very exhausting but very rewarding. It's again an event where you don't have a specific group that you're talking to. So you need to be ready for any kind of question that can come at you. So again, a long list of people to thank. Some people, you will see them in many things. They really engaged with the outreach activities. And in similar fashion, we had the Semana de la Ciencia a few weeks ago. Pablo already mentioned it, but we had 3 separate events, 2 of them based on the outreach videos that were made in the past years with quantum fractures. And this was for the 2D materials and the introduction to light events, where basically there was a viewing with high school students predominantly, and later a small engagement with a taller to basically have more hands-on experience for the students on that specific topic. And on top of that, we had an event that was organized together with Diego and Paloma and a good number of students, where we used basically the sensors of your mobile phone to have students engage with more like experimental physics, again at the high school level. I can tell you that it's a very different experience to work with primary school children than to work with high school children. I think my opinion, it's my personal experience as a father, working with primary school kids is much easier than working with high school kids. But okay, you know, like everything has its merits and everything. We are learning as well still, right? I mean, this is early stages, and when we really start to okay. This is also outreach. This is a different type of outreach because here you don't have the direct engagement with your audience. You have an outreach that is, you know, making interview videos, very much thanks to the interview committee of Celia, Paula, Diego, and Jaime. This is our YouTube channel that is also getting a lot of engagement, making the interviews with the researchers, the colloquium speakers, not about their research, but about, not necessarily only about their research, but also about science in general. What is their experience and how do they experience that? So this is also a form of reaching out to the general public. Okay, I'm going to speed up a little bit because I have no clue how I'm doing. I'm not talking as fast as Diego, but maybe I should. Yes, so the YouTube channel is growing, right? It's growing a number of audience, it's growing a number of videos, and I think this is something that, you know, with the time will get better and better. So it's not only the colloquium recordings, and it's not only the colloquium videos, it is also the videos made with quantum fracture, which this one was the last example that was done this year on soft matter. It is also in some cases interviews with Carlos and also with Paloma. And some special event videos that we made. One was with Alicia and the other one with myself to explain a little bit in more outreach way the recent Nobel Prizes in chemistry and physics. So please engage with the YouTube channel, and also here, you know, if you have an exciting research result, please engage with us, you know, and we can do something like this. It is not only for the PIs, it is also for the first authors on those papers. Yes? So the PIs are often too busy to actually engage with the news forum on the website. You, as a first author of a paper, also have all the right, maybe even more, to actually communicate your science and engage with us. As a communication committee, and we can help you to, you know, find the best way to reach the biggest audience for the hard work that you've done. Okay, so that was a little bit of what we've done. This is what we are planning to do now. So the visit has a call that is, I think, yearly, where you can ask for funding for these kind of specific activities, no outreach. In the past, we had the project together with quantum fracture. This was a very specific type of outreach where, again, you know, you have the videos and you don't really have the engagement. To diversify the type of outreach that we're doing, we now recently submitted with a large ensemble of people from IFIMAC a specific series of workshops that will be aimed at high capacity kids, which is a very specific target audience rather than the general public, to you know, create educational materials for that specific target audience. Another one is very much related, 4 workshops together with the school here, trying to engage with the school here because it's a very potentially beneficial relationship with a school very close, which can give us a lot of output in terms of outreach. Okay, so I don't know how much, 5 minutes more? Okay. I'm gonna go fast. So this is all communication and outreach. Now I'm going to go to open science, which is not really a work group at IFIMAC. If there's a work group, then I'm the work group. This is maybe one of the things that I would very much welcome somebody else to engage with me, because this is a lot of work at the end, and sometimes it goes a little bit over my head. So everything that we've talked about until now, the gender equality, the outreach, the communication, all these things are, we often joke about it in a way like we do it because the Marianne is asking us to do it, right? Or we do it because we enjoy it. Open science is basically the movement that is going on now, whether we like it or not, movement that is going on at the level of politics, European Commission, also national government, changing the way we do science. Yes, this means that outreach is not something that we do on the side. Outreach is something that's part of your job. The same as that peer review is part of your job. Yeah? You don't get paid for it, but it's part of your job. So we need to change our mindset if we want to stay competitive with the future scientific landscape. Yeah? So this open science movement is something that is all the time in flux, and many things are changing very rapidly. Some things work, some things don't. And there is a SOMA work group. So SOMA is the Severo Choa Maria de Maeztu Alliance. That is basically all the Maria de Maeztus and Severo Choas that are in Spain, some 64 institutions, and everybody has a representative in the open science work group. So we're basically in that work group discussing how can we, as these kind of institutions, inform everybody as good as possible about the changes that are going to come. Yeah. So very quick. So open science is not just publishing and open access. Yeah, this is sometimes it's the first thing that comes to mind. Now we need to have our paper in open access because my funding agency asked for it. It's open access. It is becoming open data. It is becoming open code, open research software, open methods, and open infrastructure. So more and more journals actually will not allow you to publish your paper if you do not provide your data in a repository, accessible for everybody. You cannot get away anymore with the available upon reasonable request, which is what almost everybody puts in their open data statement in a paper. Soon this will be not anymore. Okay, then so I'll first talk about that a little bit, and then there's another movement that is going on that is the way we assess our research. DORA is the one that most people know. Koala is the one that is coming. Yeah? So open access, first thing. So there's a big movement in the background that is called Plan S. But I think what everybody needs to know is that right now we already are with the LOSU, the new law for universities in Spain. And in the LOSU, it says very clearly that we have to put a copy of the final version, not your preprint, the final version accepted for publication and all the data associated to that publication in a repository of your institution without delay. Yes. So what most people have been doing, and that's a little bit the table that I'm showing here. So this is the old-fashioned way. Subscription journal, I publish, it's closed. And you will never have open access availability. And that's the old times before we had open access. Then people started doing green. That's what everybody, majority of you in the room do. You take your preprint, you put it on the archive, and then you publish and you call it open access. That was okay until last year. So the LOSU tells you this cannot be done anymore. The European Research Council also tells you this cannot be done anymore. You need to have the postprint access, open access on the thing. So what are the alternatives? You have the hybrid journals, for instance, the ACS journals, for example, where you can either go for paid open access, which is article processing charges. It's immediately open, and then it's open to read. Then you have the gold journals, where there's no closed option, but everything is automatically paid, so you also need to pay article processing charges. This is okay. And then you have the new ones, which are the diamond open access journals, which are free. So they are journals that are from the community. No cost and immediate open access. Okay, so we're moving from pay to read to pay to publish. Yeah. Who is paying? Well, either you have a part in your project that allows you to pay that, or you go to a publishing agreement between the Autonoma and a publishing agency. But those are very limited in number of articles that are available. So usually if you publish in spring, you're lucky and the university covers the cost. If you want to publish after summer, most likely it's already exhausted. Yeah, so these are the kind of issues that we're seeing. Okay, Diamond Open Access. Some of you are already publishing with SciPost. There's Open Research Europe. Let's speed up. Okay, open data. We need to make them accessible. So everything has a DOI. There's different repositories. It's not a complete overview, but just so you know where to find these kind of things to be able to publish your data in the open. Okay, now we're moving on to the final thing, which is the evaluation. So how do we, think about how we evaluate our research. This is also changing. And then we're really talking about, first of all, the DORA. DORA was 10 years ago. It basically said, let's get rid of impact factors. Okay, fine. No, that was a nice first step. Now there's COARA, which is the Coalition of Advanced Research Assessment, which is going much further and saying, okay, we should, there's the impact factor, which are a series of commitments, recognize diversity of contributions, base research assessment primarily on qualitative evaluation, stepping away from quantitative indicators. This sounds very scary, especially in Spain, when we are used to ANECA counting every single thing that is countable, even if it's not countable. Abandon inappropriate uses of the general impact factor and H index, that's the old DORA. And then also important, avoid the use of rankings of research organizations and research investment. So when we are assessing somebody's input, don't judge them by their it's the person that you are assessing, it's the work that you are assessing. Should we care? Yes, because COARA has already been signed by UAM, ANECA, the FECET, ERC, European Commission cost. ANECA has signed, has committed to these four. Yes. And we may be laughing, but if you read the newspapers in the last months, there's a new director of ANECA, and things are changing. Yeah. So we need to be ready, because if we are going to be evaluated differently for our sesenios, for everything, for our titular accreditation, then we need to be ready that these quantitative indicators are not going to be leading anymore, that we're going to have qualitative indicators. And what does that mean? Yeah, this is something that is right now an open question. I don't have time to get into that. But this is the stuff that we are discussing in the open science committee of the SOMA. And I hope soon to be able to give a more extensive seminar to prepare people a little bit more for this. Yeah. I'm sorry if I ran over.
Thank you very much. So I'm sure this is very interesting, but we can discuss about it during lunch. Now, finally, we have Celia. Celia will tell us about an individual initiative at IFIMAC, led by her and two other PhD students at IFIMAC. So, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cristina. Well, good morning, everyone. I know that you're probably hungry and you want to go for lunch, so I will try to keep this short. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Celia González. I'm a PhD student here at the Condensed Matter Physics Department under the supervision of Eduardo Lee. But today I won't present anything related to my research, but to a different project related to women and science. The name of the project is 10 Minutes for Future, and you may wonder why I'm here. Well, firstly, because the team of this project, we are all IFIMAC members, and the second reason is that we are trying to tackle a problem that I think affects all of us here and the scientific community, and we are so grateful that you give us the opportunity of sharing this approach to this problem in the IFIMAC Day. So as I said, I'm not alone in the team. There are also other two people that are here at the audience. One is César González Ruano, who is a postdoctoral researcher at our institute. And the third one is Laura Rojo Guerrero, who is a physics undergraduate student. We, the three of us, wanted to put on the table the problem of the situation of women in science. As Francesca already mentioned, and we are all familiar with this problem, but I wanted to show you some data about our situation in science. In Spain, only 16% of STEM professionals are women. Our presence in media and in textbooks is really, really low. Specifically, there is only 7.6% of women in school textbooks. And regarding our university, for example, in the computer science degree, there is only 70.7% of women, whereas in physics, we are just 1/3 of the total. We were asking ourselves what was the problem, or what was the cause of this problem. And as Francesca mentioned, there might be some different causes, but we thought about the lack of role models. Is this true? Well, I'm sure you're also familiar with this kind of scissor graphs, which represents the amount of women along the scientific career. And this is fantastic, but we could do the same for our departments, since in February, the condensed matter physics department had only 5 female doctors out of 49 senior researchers. This is something that happens all around campus, since these are 2 events that took place at the university in spring. One was organized by the Polytechnical School, and the other one was organized by the Theoretical Physics Institute. The first one had 8 speakers and only 1 woman, and she wasn't a researcher, and the second one had 5 speakers and no women at all. I'm sure you are familiar with this data, since we all go to conferences and roundtables, and we see that our presence is probably less than half and less than a third. This was our problem, and we want to get the solution for the problem. So what can we do? Well, we have a very, very simple proposal for this. We thought about a series of 4 audiovisual interviews to female scientists whose research topics are related to sustainable development goals. We had 3 main goals here. The first, of course, is obvious. We want to draw attention to women working in STEM fields and to create new role models, of course. The second one was to raise awareness about the importance of sustainable development goals. We all do science, but we want to show that we do this for a purpose, and we want to make the world and probably the humankind a little bit better. And we are also partially funded by a call that was trying to promote these goals. And the third thing is that we are really concerned about the amount of fake news that we get every day and the quality of the scientific information that the general public are exposed to. So we want also to promote the good scientific outreach. And now probably you're thinking, okay, this is a nice idea, but how are you doing this? We were sure about our public, which are teenagers, and probably one fact that characterizes this generation is that they are connected. They are connected to the internet, and they are connected to technology in general. And here we put some information about this fact. It turns out that almost 91% of them use internet every day. Nearly half of them use it for more than 5 hours each day during the weekends. And probably the most striking thing is that using a smartphone or laptop is their main hobby, ahead of listening to music, hanging out with friends, or sports. And the dark side of this situation is that 13.2% are depending on the use of internet. It is clear here that we have a problem, but also we have a good platform to try to show or to try to present what we want to do. So we tried, as we cannot change their habits of the use of internet, we tried to offer them a good content, so maybe we could solve a problem transversally to this. We did some research about social networks, and we found the following. First, that TikTok is the most used social network by teenagers aged 12 to 17. Instagram is the favorite junk of youngsters, sorry for the typo, between 18 and 34 years old, and YouTube is the highest rated social network. With this in mind, we decided to organize our program as it follows. So this might be your question, and what is called deliverables in all of our projects. First, you have the full interviews in our YouTube channel. Sorry, they are in Spanish, but there is also Spanish subtitles in case you want to learn Spanish. In TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, we have short clips of the interviews. We have scientific outreach posts. We have the making of the interviews, and also some bloopers. And if you're like me, that you like to listen to something while you are tidying the house or you are cleaning, we also have the audio of the interviews in iVoox as a podcast format. I could show you here our content, but I don't want to take up your time. And also I want you to discover our social networks. So you can find the QR code on the door, and also at the end of the presentation, and you can find us as STEMinutes for Future in all of the social networks I've shown. And we are getting to the end. What did we achieve with this project? We are quite happy with our results, since we have been involved in this project for a month and a half, and we've already reached 18,000 total views in all of our social networks. we have reached 5,000 accounts, and our public are generally women, mostly women, in the age range we wanted to reach. So teenagers and youngsters. And I promise this is the end of the presentation. What's next in this project? Well, we still have to product and share the remaining interviews since we have already recorded all of them, but we are still in the production process. Second, we have a collaboration with another project, which is called STEM Talent Girl, which is also a mentoring program, but for high school students, regarding related to as well women in science. In fact, Laura attended the opening ceremony of this program, and she presented our project there. And we also have a workshop in spring with the girls of the program. And the last and probably most important part is that we have 15 more interviews funded by 2 different projects that we got. One is funded by the Institute of Women, Ministry of Health, Social Services and Equality, and the second one is funded by the Ayudas a la Transferencia Cultural of this university. In these interviews, we are part of an international team with women from different countries, and we are also collaborating with another research group at the Universitat Oberta de Catalunya in Barcelona. As I said, this was the end, so thank you very much for your attention. This is the QR code, you have it there, and yeah, if you want to know more about it, please go to our social networks.